Hey everybody, Jim here with another video for you. This is my most recent pickups and also some information about what's coming up on Jim's movie channel. But before I begin, at the end of this video, if you like what you see, please consider giving me a thumbs up, a possible subscribe, but most importantly, please leave those comments below. Let me know how you feel about the films I'm about ready to mention. And above all, please leave comments about the immediate future of my channel. And we'll get to that in a couple of moments. So anyways, guys, first and foremost, it's been almost an entire month since I've been on here, and I really miss you guys. I'm hoping that everybody is doing really well. And originally, I was not going to post anything until December 1st. But I figured, what the hell? Today is Black Friday here in the States, and usually on Black Friday, you get some bonus stuff that you weren't expecting or some cheap deals or whatever. So I figured, what the hell? We're going to do a little bonus Black Friday video. So a couple of days early, here we go. Now, I only have 4 pickups that I've picked up in the last, month or so. One in October and the rest were in November. But again, I figured, what the hell? It'd be a nice way just to ease back into things and to say hello to everybody. So without further ado, let's begin. The first one I have mentioned on my channel before because it was part of the giveaway that I did during Shocktober. And that is, of course, Weapons. This came out earlier in the summer and was like a sleeper, come out of nowhere and became a hit. Huge hit, actually. This one is written and directed by Zach Kreger. It has a really good ensemble cast of Julia Garner, Josh Brolin, Benedict Wong, and especially Amy Madigan. This movie kind of came out of nowhere for me. And what really did it for me originally was that trailer. Just the premise of all these children getting up in the middle of the night on their own accord and running off into the night, and all running with the same pose and nobody knowing why. And just that alone intrigued me. And the movie definitely lived up to its promise, in my opinion. I know it's been very divisive. A lot of people don't like this movie at all. Me, I just strapped in for the ride and had a great time with it. To me, it is definitely a top 10 movie of 2025. Next, speaking of divisive, this one's one of the most divisive films of the year. And I'm talking about Zack Snyder's. I'm talking about James Gunn's Superman. This is the newest incarnation of Superman, of course. Came out this past summer. And stars David Cornsweet. I should know this by now. Yeah, Cornsweet. And Rachel Brosnahan as Lois Lane. The real star of the movie here, in my opinion, is Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor. I think he's great. And the main problem that a lot of people have with this movie, and to a certain degree I do too, is because there's no real origin here, which in a way is good, okay? I mean, I've seen the origin a million times, and so has everybody else. But it does feel like this movie is part 3 in a series that you didn't get to see the first 2. You just got to hit the ground running. It introduces characters that haven't been introduced before. And again, unless you're a real comic book nerd, you might be a little bit confused. Now, I didn't have a problem with it. Like I said, I strapped myself in, went along for the ride. And I don't think it's fair to compare it to the Christopher Reeve or even the Zack Snyder Superman movies. To me, it's its own thing. And from that perspective, I was extremely entertained. It's not my favorite Superman movie, and it's not my favorite superhero movie of the year, actually. That would go to Thunderbolts, which I do not own. But as it is, I thought this movie was really entertaining. And anybody who's caught up in the whole, this movie's woke or it's this, that, and the other, go to hell. You're just grasping at straws at this point. It's just a fun movie, period. If you're not into superheroes, fine. But that's where it should really be left. So the second movie I picked up this month was Superman. Next, from the world of John Wick, Ballerina. Again, came out this past summer. And this one stars Ana de Armas in the title role. Also has Gabriel Byrne in it, and a small part by Keanu Reeves as John Wick, of course. And also Lance Reddick, rest in peace. And Ian McShane, of course. Again, It's from the same universe as the John Wick movies. It's not as good as the John Wick movies. But that being said, it is still a very entertaining film, and I enjoyed it for what it is. My problem with this film is that, again, it's trying too hard to be a John Wick movie, in my opinion. Um, the John Wick movies were all directed by the same guy. Okay, he co-directed the first one, but then from that point on, he's directed all of them. This one is not. It's directed by Les Wiseman, who also directed the Underworld movies and Die Hard Part 4. Die Hard, Live Free or Die Hard, rather. And again, he's a fine journeyman director. I'm not saying that, he's a bad director or anything. It's just it feels like somebody trying to imitate these other films. And because of that, it suffers. I think if they would have just focused more on the story instead of the feel of the movie, it would have been much more successful. But as is, I still really enjoyed this movie. And last, and certainly not least, and I know certain people are really sick of hearing me talk about this movie, but I don't give a shit because this is the best movie I have seen this year so far. And I am talking about The Long Walk. This is my Amazon exclusive 4K Blu-ray combo steelbook. I will be unboxing this momentarily. I just want to show you the back. And this is directed by Francis Lawrence, who directed most of the Hunger Games movies, as well as I Am Legend and Constantine. And this stars an ensemble cast of incredibly gifted young actors, headlined by Cooper Hoffman, David Johnson, Ben Wang, Tut Nuat, and Garrett Waring. And right here, the chief bad guy in the movie is played by the one and only Mark Hamill. Let's get into this a little bit more, okay? This is the front cover, okay, as you can see. However, this is a slip. Let me show you. As you can see, this is the slipcase that comes on, and when you take it off, it does have a different image of Mark Hamill. There's the back of the slipcover, and here is the back of the steelbook. And let's open this up to give you the full look. And this is a matte painted steelbook. It is not embossed or debossed or anything like that, but I think it's a beautiful steelbook. Let me flip this over. As you can see, you've got the 4K disc right there. There's the Blu-ray disc. It also comes with a digital code, which I've already used. Sorry, I was going to give it away on the channel, but I decided not to. And there is the interior artwork with a nice little shot of the film. Again, I've talked about this movie when I did the review of it, so if you're interested more in how my actual opinion of the film is, or the plot of the film, please go back to my review and check that out. But as it is, like I said earlier, this is the best movie I have seen this year so far, and it is immediately leapt into the upper echelon of Stephen King adaptations in my view. As a matter of fact, early next year, I am going to redo my Stephen King collection and update because, quite frankly, I have to. There was 4 releases this year alone. So there's The Long Walk Steelbook. And that's it for my pickups. Now, real quickly, before we wrap this up, I got a couple of announcements. First of all, this coming Tuesday, December 2nd at 7 p.m. Eastern Time will be the next live episode of Talking Movies with Sean, Kenny, and Jim. Our very special guest is going to be Texas from Texas Hardcore, and this is going to be a really fun show. Our topic this time around is going to be they gave up their day jobs. Musicians who do acting roles in films, whether they are singing or simply acting. And we're not talking about, people that, do both, that like John Travolta, who was in Grease. No. We're talking about actual musicians who appeared in films. They are mainly known as musicians first and actors second. So that will be on Tuesday night, like I said, at 7 p.m. You can catch that live on either Sean's channel at Movie Assault or at the Talking Movies with Sean Kenny and Jim channel, and that is at Talking Movies 2024. I'm going to post the links to all the channels in the description below. Next on the agenda is my official comeback will be next Saturday, the 6th of December, and I will be doing a very special live episode of Shooting the Shit with Jim. The reason why I am doing it on that day and why that's going to be my return to my channel is because that will mark the 2-year anniversary from when I dropped my very first video. I filmed and dropped my first video on December 7th, 2023. So I figured coming back on December 6th, 2025 would be a great way to close out my second year on YouTube. And because it is an anniversary show, I'm doing something a little different this time around. I'm not going to have a special guest. You are my special guest, all of you, because I want you to, in the comments below, leave comments, leave questions for me to answer on that show, and also join me live and ask me questions or leave comments during the show itself. And the more comments and more questions I get, the more entertaining the show will be. And as always, I basically have always said, you can ask me anything. I will be honest. The only things that I say, please refrain from asking, is religion and politics, because I don't want to piss off anybody or offend anybody's beliefs. So those two topics are verboten. But everything else is on the table, whether it's movie related or not. So please, like I said, leave those comments in the description below, or questions that you want me to answer. And also, by all means, join me live on Saturday at 1 p.m. Central Time right here on Jim's Movie Channel. And again, one last time, I cannot thank each and every one of you for being here for the last 2 years, and more importantly for this video. I love all you guys. I really appreciate you. We'll catch you on the next one.